live, so it appears. Bring down the volume. I'm gonna do some shares. Get back to Facebook and go for those shares. Alright, let's see. Yay, there it is. So I'm going to try to share. ICC. Powers. Dr. Fu. iCast. Warhorse, and I'm gonna try to share to my. I'm gonna try to do an instant share to myself. Post, and that should cover it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it sideways so I can actually see what's going on the screen below. What I'm gonna try to do is gonna see if I can try to pay attention while I'm doing what I'm doing to folks who might be writing messages. So I'm going to keep the volume a little bit lower. I'm going to see if I can finish this one up and start the next one also. Let's just see, 3 lines, yeah. So what I'm doing here is I'm removing all of the lettering that is currently on the pages, and I'm going to also be tweaking the art a little bit, because again our styles are so different, and I've got to draw another somewhere between 7 to 10 pages. I need the styles to be a little bit more coherent. So I'm going over the art to create a style that's a bit more reminiscent of something that looks like both of us could draw, because currently I can't reproduce the art style of Clement. I believe Clement Roman, he was the one who drew the original, was originally drawing the book. I mean, it's been in production for a while, and I just told Anthony I'll try to finish it up for him while I'm working on some other stuff. And the reason I do some of these other projects too, it's to also not get burnt out doing just one thing, and also to give me the ability to be working on more than one thing. I gotta start figuring out how to work out the hour for my own stuff too, because it was something I said I wanted to do, and I haven't really been doing that. Is that where that is? That explains a lot. That's what we're gonna do. Let me get rid of this pretty much. Now we're just gonna go back to the layer under and fix that. Another thing we gotta fix here is this black here. It doesn't make any dang sense. Alright, so now what we're gonna do is gonna go back to here. I'm gonna just touch up the colors and fill those in. And just let's see. So what starts to happen too is while I'm working on it, I'm trying to reduce the amount of lines and wrinkles on these guys' faces. They're not like really super old guys, so the amount of wrinkles or stuff that you're seeing on their face is a bit excessive. So that's one of the reasons like I wanted to reduce that. just going to use this to blend in. This is just too big, that's why. So to blend my colors and his, I just use a airbrush with a darker color or a color that's actually on there, and then it just blends together and it fades away, kind of like mine changes with the things that I'm adding. I'm gonna go back to the brush I was using before. I'm gonna wow. So why are you not working now? Yeah, that explains a lot. Yeah, I don't really use pencils in this program much. Is that a like? So no comments, yes. That's just a really dark eye color. I can't see a thing. So I'm gonna give him brown eyes. And then what I'm gonna do is this green light being reflected from this character here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some of that green in his eyes too. So he's seeing some of that. So you can actually see it reflected on him. Then I'm going to take the airbrush again, and I'm going to have that green reflected on some of the other things that you're seeing. That green energy signature is kind of showing up in different spots. So I think that covers that. What I'm also trying to do is, this is page 5 and this is page 4. I'm trying to blend the colors a little bit more so you can see that there's a commonality between them. Like he's far too green, and this is the thing I'm kind of touching up in a lot of these things, of removing a lot of these wrinkles because there's just too much of them. So I'm gonna go into the airbrush and start adding in some of this paler blue color onto these suits. I get they're like supposed to be like hazmat suits or air sealed suits, but at the same time, even though they're baggy and they're loose fitting, they shouldn't be so wrinkly, because they're not like wearing a trash bag. They're wearing a heavy plastic like suit. That's what I'm trying to get across. And I'm trying to get the colors to match up more of what you're going to see in the next page anyway. So I'm trying to blend these colors in together, and at the same time remove all of this extra folding and bending that you're seeing everywhere. I think that'll do it. I'll take some of this color and work it into. Jeez Louise. So the only reason I'm doing all this is for more consistency between the two art styles and what you're looking at too. I'm gonna see if I can do it just. I'll do that. I'll see if I can just blend in some dang darkness. Do that with a straight pen. Get more black in here too. I just wanted to blend in a little bit more, but yeah, that's it. So what's left is on the bottom one, more fixes. So on the bottom, I'm just gonna get rid of these weird little things that you see here. And I'm just gonna fill them in with this gray. Take the eraser and clean it up. What layer am I on? It's weird. That means I must have drawn it all on the base layer with the color, which is a bad idea. I should have did it color and also work with the other piece. Again, a lot of wrinkles on these suits, and the colors don't really match up. So I'm gonna try to. Not loving it, but sometimes it just works a little bit better with the normal one, in my opinion. So let's get some black back in here. Okay. Did I do anything with the glass on in this layer? No, I really did not. I just left it alone. So if you're wondering, hey, what are you really doing? It just seems to be adding color. So I'll just show you what I actually did. All of that, that's what I did. If you're wondering what I did, these are the changes that I made. I literally redrew all that stuff that's missing. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm getting rid of the text that's written on top, and I'm reapplying it with that. So now it becomes a clean page all over again. So I can go back to gallery. So now I got page 1. And I'll show you a little bit. I should have just left it there. So this is page 1, page 2, page 3. I just do it this way so you can see a quick look at it. Page 1, page 2, page 3. And you see what I was talking about? So the suits are a little bit lighter. They change. Page 4. Not done just yet. That face, man. Why so much lines? It's not even being expressive, but it's a bit much. It's just too much going on. Like your whole nose doesn't scrunch up like that. It just wouldn't. this part, would be whatever. I get the other part up here. So the whole idea of what I want to try to do with the pictures. These lips are a bit much to me also. They're a bit too much going on them. So what I'm just going to try to do, I'm going to come back and just show you it's not really much of a modification, but it's just enough to change the way it kind of looks. Again, it reflects more of the way I'm going to be drawing. Also, the detail on the tongue is not actually necessary. It's kind of creepy. It's just my opinion, but I can't. Why would I want to see the taste buds, I don't. So I'm going to reduce that a little bit. Also, neater comic book trick is you don't go too crazy with showing all the detail on the teeth. You really do almost no detail on the teeth. You just show them, kinda imply he has teeth. You don't draw every individual tooth. Busy. Put him back in the room, in the closet. Oh boy. I didn't even notice that. Well, good thing I came back. Gotta finish covering the rest of them. And you can see the old mask. The old mask was kind of like right around his head, which doesn't make that much sense. So that was one of the other reasons why I had to redraw it. So this is the way this is kind of the way I pulled off my design. I didn't even realize it. Well, it's a good thing I came back, because I would have missed that too. Probably most people wouldn't have noticed it, but hey, it's a good thing to see. And it's a good thing to fix if you can. So I'm going to do so. So that's what makes it a little bit like cuckoo for me. I told you, it's the styles are our styles are so different, and the way the faces looked, I was not going to be able to reproduce the faces he drew. I just can't. So that's why I had to, since I want to try to finish the book, I have to pare it down. If I can't finish this one, that'll be kind of like the third or fourth book this year, because I'm working on The Brother, remastering that. It's like the third book I did this year, so I've done a lot more books this year than last year. And I try not to do all the pages at once either, because it gets really hard trying to ink and color a lot of pages at once. It's like taxing. So I try to avoid doing that. That's why I like doing the pages in bunches of 4. It seems kind of manageable. It also gives me a good payment point for my page rate that I'm doing the pages at 2. I mean, if I worked with somebody, I usually give them better page rates also. But I also had to keep the page rate a little bit higher, because it's kind of funny. If you're working in in mainstream comics, like with Marvel or DC, it's what my single page for full colors, inking, lettering is still lower than the page rate most artists do just do pencils get at one of those bigger companies like a DC or a Marvel. So it's a very interesting thing to see. But yeah, I mean, I can see people making a good living, especially if they have the speed and the capability to constantly put out a really high quality level of work. I could definitely see you can make a living doing that. I mean, I'm making a decent amount of money, but in the greater scheme of things, that's why, like I said, first time to understand, to know if you're committed and if you can pay for the stuff, and I understand how you are when it comes to paying. Yeah, I would definitely have to go with a higher page rate. But I just gotta make sure I know what I'm doing is actually going to be worth my while as much as it might be worth yours. Just so you can get an idea. So this is page 5. So this is like one of the first ones I did. I was trying to explain to Anthony, and he was telling me too the way the character looked and stuff like that. So as you can see, the face, the art is pretty good. Like, I mean, he has a really good faces, but the thing I was noticing is the over exaggeration on the amount of wrinkles and the eyes and everything. So I'm gonna take off layer by layer the work that I did to it, just so you can get an idea of what I actually changed from the original. So this is the original image. So the problem I have with it is the lips. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that with the lips. And there's too much going on, too much detail in the face, too much wrinkly. The character looks kind of terrifying. I'll be honest with you, he's really, really scary to me. And over here too, he has good anatomy, but the proportions are kind of off. Like his head's too big for the rest of his body. That way the foreshortening is done on this arm, it's a little off. The hands, a little bit off. Doctor, a little bit off. So the first thing I did with it was add in over just the touch-ups with ink. Where's it going to be? Then once I start adding in color and inks, you get to see. So remember I told you that shoulder was a little bit off. It's based on foreshortening, since this part of the arm is forward and that shoulder's towards the back. That shoulder is going to be a lot smaller. It's not going to be big, as if it's in the front of his body also. Head, I reduced the size of the head. The eyes of these guys I've changed. The doctor, I kind of changed up a little bit. Fixed the hands up a bit. And some of the inking. And the lips, remember what I told you? That was scary, so I had to bring that down to something a little bit more reasonable. Oh, my bad. So I just have to add that layer in. Oh, I forgot this one. Dude. Okay. So yeah, so those were the changes. And this is because this looks a little bit more like how I draw versus how Roman draws. Same thing too. Pencilman's face was a little bit off, so I cleaned it up. So I just was cleaning up certain things on them. And I can show you what I did here. So if you look at the face, there's a lot of he looks aged. The hands a little bit off too. So what you'll see I do is I try to clean up the fingers and try to clean up the hands in general. trying to leave the art there, but at the same time trying to clean certain things up again, because my style will not match up really well with that. So I had to clean up faces and things like that. So that was page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me see if I have page 6. So what you're gonna see is there are reference pictures that crazy for the shots I did here. I'm not a good background person. I'm not a good car person. So you'll see tracing has its benefits. So there's little bits of tracing going on there. That's how it gives me the car, the shape that I want. It's a real object. It's a real Ford Mustang. It's a real Mustang. It's a Chevy. I don't know who makes. Man, I ain't gonna tell you like I know. But I know it's a Mustang, and I know it's a 1972. So that's what I kept on taking. And my reference pictures. Even shots of people inside cars, so I can get a good shot of the character inside the car holding a steering wheel, just so it looks good. These are shots of Jamaica. I got them from a video while it was running, so I just kept on taking snips and snaps of it. But yeah, so what I'm looking for is an album. And the album that I want is Pencilman 2. I did this page, I did that page, I did this and that. So I'm up to this page. So let me see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I think it's a 27-page book. I have like 10 pages that I'm going to have to draw myself. Whew. That's going to be a thing. Yeah. Much fixing is going to have to happen here. Alright, so let's go into here. I'm going to need Pencilman 2. So I'm going to do page 6. Whatever page it may be. I call it page 6 because it might be page 6. It may not be. I want to use comic book page. From comic book page, there's 2 things that I need. I actually have to go back to one of the ones that I have before. So I need to go around here. Oh my gosh. Crazy. I'm going to have to do a lot of extra work later too. I just realized that. Open Sesame. Do you have it? Yes. So I want this copy. What's that? That's the exact border of a comic book page. So I'm going to paste that. You can't see it, but I can. I got rid of the background. There you go. You can see it too. So what we're going to do is clean it. Clear. Yippee. So now that's clean. Now what we're going to do is going to go into our photos. And we want the Pencilman 2 folder. And this has to be page 7 because this is literally following right after this page. So logic would dictate this is page 7. Alright, let's try that again. So bring the page in, we'll go straight down to the bottom. That's just not going to be working. We're going to minimize the opacity of that one. And hit the page. Nope, that's not going to work. Not you. So I was right before. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I think I can do that. Annoying. Always trying to find ways to make noise for no reason. It's a weird pose. It's a weird way to jump out of a window. Even based on this jump, that leg should be bent back just to follow through with what just happened. This will be forward, that one would be back. A little bit more dynamic. Alright, so let's see. First thing we're going to be doing is we got to hide in all the lettering that you see there already. So what I usually do is I go to this top layer and I'm just going to be grabbing color and I'm just going to go over it with color to get rid of it. You know, there's a piece of window pane here, and what we're just going to do, try to follow the progression of the image. So if this wasn't here, we kind of see something like that. We'll add in ink to it later on a layer above it to take care of what we're not seeing. Alright. So I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna add here. I'm gonna add this. Yay, that's almost done. This right here, close that off. Oh no, what can happen? That's not good. Yeah, alright, so we're gonna take this, push up, push up, push up, push up, push up. Take this color, push up also. Take this color, push up. So there you go. This kind of gives us what we need to basically have here. Push. Push, 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 push. And we're going to go down, 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 down. So now, no text bubble here. That one's gone. Thank goodness for black. So all we're going to do is we're going to go from here to here. We're going to go from here to here. We're going to fill. Really? When I want to fill, you wait till. So that fills that in. We're going to bring in color. There you go, that did that part. Not sure what's going on over here. Hey, boy. Gonna pull, gonna pull, gonna pull, gonna pull, gonna pull. Take I'm not sure why there's such a strange discoloration going on, but hey, you gotta work with what you get. So we're gonna do the same thing over here. I'll just fill in, get rid of the balloon completely. So this is the retouching straight up. This is actually a more complex bit of retouching because I'm not just going to get rid of all of the balloons and then redraw the backgrounds and do all the stuff that you see I'm doing here. What I'm going to be doing next is I'm also going to be retouching the image and the character's face and so on and so forth. So that takes a little bit more time. That hand, whoa, what's going on? Oh my God, where'd she come from? Who is she? I don't remember seeing a woman in any of the scenes before. So it's a little strange to me. Same thing. This lab coat is too all over the place. Like the guy actually is a doctor. He came to work. His clothes wouldn't be this wrinkly. I understand he was trying to get detail and stuff, but it's a bit much. It's a bit too much. It's over rendering, and it starts looking weird. There's too many folds, and there's too many folds going in all different directions. So it just looks like his clothes is just not it's just not ironed. Doesn't really look like you're showing what's going on. And the reason it looks weird to the eye is because that's not what clothes do. And clothes actually bend around, the creases happen towards around the joints. They don't happen everywhere on what you're wearing. And depending on what you're wearing, if it's a jacket, a coat, or shirt, pants, they all bend and do things differently. Like, the reality is, if we're looking at this character right here, if we were just doing it with color, he should have a creases coming in from these directions, moving from joints and going to the center of his body. Like, he might have something that looks like this. He might have a little bit of something going like this. Maybe that. Towards his knee is going to be a converging crease. But that's it. Everything else, there's not that many creases happening all over his pants. It just doesn't make sense. Like, this should be straight. Maybe another crease here. Triangle aiming at his knee, but that's it. And then everything else should be covered. It shouldn't be completely going crazy with all these amounts of creases. I could touch that up too. Again, I'm not gonna do it. Like I told you, if it was up to me, this leg would be bent to follow the picture. And he's jumping out the window. His leg is bent. I could do it by just cutting it out and bending it, but that's a lot of extra work that I don't want to do. But yeah, I could do that. But I'm not going to. I'm gonna have to redraw her hand too, pretty much. So the trick with hands is it's just like a square, or it's pretty much a square here. Really though, can I have my color? It's really pretty much a square. This is what her thumb should look like. And then the hard part is, it's just, you do a U to represent the fingers. So that's literally what you do. Knuckles would be appearing here on the hand. You do a little U to represent the thumb. Then what you just do is you just do another elongated U to represent the rest of the fingers. This is pretty much it. This one's the longest finger. Yeah, that's the difference. The thumb doesn't bend like these fingers. That little U goes up. That's pretty much it. Now you see the hand is done. That's how you draw hands. I should know. I used to have so much trouble drawing them, so yeah, this makes a major difference. I used to have so much trouble trying to draw hands myself. But yeah, that's it. That's what it needed. That's what a hand looks like. That's without any lines around it. Again, the detail of adding a nail on top of the finger, not necessary. It's one thing about, like, when you're doing comics, certain things about real life, like having the skin on the inner part of the hand lighter than the skin on the outer part of the hand for characters, it's not necessary, really. It's not one of those things you really should be spending your time trying to get to happen, because it kind of looks weird in comics. So in cartoons it kind of looks strange. That realism you're adding, you might as well didn't shoot a movie because with real people, because these cartoons in the comics are not designed for that. That's not what you're trying to do with them. I don't know why her thumb would disappear. Same thing again. Just close the hand up and just do the fingers. This one's gonna be the longest. Pinky's not too bad. So just do that. I think her thumb would still be right around here. And that gives you a hand for her. Same rule with the lips. They'll become like bubble lips. It's just kind of closing off. I'll fix it later. Yeah. Her eyes are a little strange too. I'll fix that too. I'm doing it all with color right now because I haven't added any other stuff. So I'm going to try to fix her eyes up. So now, here's the problem with the doctor. His face keeps changing from panel to panel. So I got to go look at the ones I drew and try to fix his face to look like the face that he has there. So here, that becomes a blackout. I'll worry about the glass later when I do it with cutting and pasting, so I don't have to draw them. We'll probably do a blend with the airbrush to blend these two colors so they'll fade into each other. Let's try to finish off this box. It's a weird position for the balloon also. You have all this dead space sitting on top of here. So I don't understand why you wouldn't just do the balloon up there. You have all that room. Why would you send a balloon over the panels? It's kind of weird to me. This thing's got like 10,000 colors on it. Wow, you would think it's just like one solid color, but it's not. And this is how I do glass anyway. I do glass a light tinted blue, and I use screen so you can actually see through it. So it gives it a neater effect, in my opinion, but that's just the way I color. But again, like I said, we're not going to change everything in it. We're just going to clean up the words, bubbles, and balloons. I'm just going to pick some part of this olive dress that she's wearing. Like, what's interesting too is why that's not the color dress I think I would have given her. Like, this guy has a strange fashion sense too, so I'm not 100% sure where I would go with it. But like, you're trying to only use maybe 4 colors on the page and not move from there. So even though the background is there, I might have gone with a purplish or a light blue to work with the other colors that you're seeing on the page. Like, I have a reason. There's a reason why I use specific colors in certain scenes. Like when somebody's getting mad at somebody, as tension is building, you might see the scene, the background of that first person starts yellow, then the background as it gets more tense, it moves to an orange, and eventually it's gonna move to like a red when it's gonna be like a fight where the people are gonna be battling each other. So like, those are some of the subtle little color tricks that I use to signal to the reader that you're going into the stakes are getting higher or a fight's about to occur. Like, red is all out, okay, we're gonna fight, or something really dramatic happens, or a person's really angry. So that's how I kind of use the colors to kind of guide those things. Yeah, So, like I said, I think one of the things I think a lot of new creators who are like doing comic books, or they're getting somebody to do comic books for them, they say, "Oh, can you do it all?" Not realizing that lettering is not that easy. It requires practice. It's a skill. Literally, they shouldn't be called letterers. They should be called like letter artists, because the stuff you do to it, if you do your lettering wrong, the book's gonna go bad. Another thing I'd say as an advice for somebody when they're doing comic books and you're having art generated for you, and you're gonna have somebody letter it, make sure they give you 2 copies, one with the letters, one without. Because if I had the one without the letters, I wouldn't have to be doing this right now. I probably still have to do the retouches anyway for the art wise, but I'd be saving a whole lot of time not having to sit down and recolor it. And it's only one more file. I think what a lot of folks are doing is they're getting these ridiculously high resolution files that are like 28 megabytes. That's ridiculous. What you need is something that's 7 by 10.5 at minimum 300 dpi. That's like a 2 meg file. So instead of keeping a high res lettering and art in color 28 meg TIFF, which I still don't understand why people are still using TIFFs. It's not necessary. PNGs, JPEGs are just fine at 300 dpi and at 7 by 10.5. Literally it's the size of this page that I generate. That's what I started realizing. It looks really good, and that's what I export my stuff out as. You don't need ridiculously high resolution files. If you're worried about space, reduce your file size and get a version of your artwork with no lettering, and get a picture of your artwork with lettering at a high resolution PNG, and we're still talking about 4 megs, 5 megs per se, versus keeping a 11 by 17 version of it, or a 14 by 21 version of the comic book page with lettering stuck into it and colored and everything. What's the point of that? So here's the key. There's a mistake in your lettering, then what? Like somebody's gonna have to Photoshop the whole thing. Let's say there's a mistake in the art and you have the lettering sitting on top of it. How do you fix that? What if you just want to show the art and not show any of the story, but you got the lettering on top of it? There's so many reasons why you'd want them separate. I'm not sure why most people who are doing comics or whatever don't do it. If space is an issue, I think what you do is you start getting you get an old DVD burner, start burning those things onto DVDs and store them somewhere, just so you have a copy somewhere, because it doesn't make sense. Like, I like to do the motion comics, and because of that formatting, and when people don't have it in that way, that requires me to do a lot of extra work. Like, when I used to do the motion comics out from the beginning, because I had most of my stuff pre-lettered already by myself, and I had my stuff on 2 different layers, a lot of it used to be, I could do a 3 to 5 page motion comic in about 3 or 4 hours, and if I have to do voice recording, that might take another hour, maybe 6 hours altogether. Nowadays, it takes a lot longer. Are you joking? Alright, so I've been talking, but you gotta love the live stream. So that means this thing dropped. I really gotta pay attention to this a lot more. For some stupid reason, it stopped mirroring. Why it stopped mirroring, I don't know. It just chose to. So I'm gonna go back. So you'll see a big jump because I've done a lot. So this thing's a few seconds behind. But alright, so I'm almost done here. I'm gonna go back and add lines to their hands and to their bodies and stuff that I'm working on. I'm gonna have to go look at his face. I'm gonna have to fix that face and that body below there. Frustration. Just gonna do it in color for now. So this is pretty much what retouching is. Getting rid of all of that stuff. And I'm doing it in a non-destructive way. I'm adding my colors on top of it. So that's why I'm always able to show you all like how it looked before and what I'm doing, because I am imagining what does it look like under the letters. So I'm just not sure why people working on comic books, this is when you know a person is starting out. It's kind of weird. It's just based on the programs I was using. That's the only reason I don't have some of my stuff, some of my lettering. But it's funny, when I was doing my work, I kept the black and white version, I kept the colored version, and I kept the lettered and a non-lettered version. So like, I mean, that gets a little crazy. I just go for the artwork completed, and I go for the lettering completed instead of doing like all those different versions that I used to keep. So, but it's a neat way to look at the stuff. It's a neat way to be able to look at your stuff. I guess that's how I created my stuff. So I just thought it's just more logical that way. But yeah, you'd be shocked how many even people who I guess who color professionally, once they finish coloring the work and they send you the PSD, they just drop it. They just get rid of it. Or let's say if they send you the flat file, they dump it. They're like, okay, we're done. I'm finished. It's a very strange concept to me, but yeah, like I said, I'm not. That's not how I think it should be done. So that's why I just don't do it that way. But I still say anybody who's doing comic books for the first time, you have an artist. If you have the artist doing it all, which I don't recommend, you really should get a letterer, because just because a person knows how to draw doesn't necessarily mean they know how to letter. And another one too is, if you're a creator and you're paying somebody to do work for you, I don't think it's unreasonable if you want your stuff to look a specific way and the person changed it and didn't do it the way you want, you should ask that artist or that person, I need you to redo that because that's not what I want. And like I keep saying, visual editing is super important, because I look at a lot of work, and it's really good. It's really good art, but when they tell you storytelling is something the artist is doing, it's not really a joke. Because I actually saw a piece where the art is really good, but after I read the dialogue and I'm looking at the pages, I'm just like, I can't follow any of that. Even with the dialogue, it's still confusing. So that's when you know that, yeah, the art, the storytelling or the panel layout wasn't done very well. And that's sometimes too, it might be a little difficult to have like a writer write out what he thinks the panel should be and his pacing or his ideas for it. Like, sometimes they'll go crazy with the amount of panels and the shots that they want to do, not thinking about like somebody's going to have to draw that, or like there's 60 people on the page. Why would you say there's 60 people on the page? You know how much time it takes to draw 60 people? I found a way to do it, but it's really annoying. 60 people. It's like, what? I had to, when I was doing Real Comic Showcase number 3 based on the script, I dropped a page. I even added in 15 panels. So sometimes I'll add things for pacing, for clarity, for it to make sense. I will physically say, nah, man, we need a panel here. We need this here. We should add that there. And check with the creator, like, this is why I want to do it, because it needs to, we need to state this or point this thing out. So that's when I'll add panels. But let's say if you have a fight and you have a character punch one character. Character A punches the villain. Character B kicks the villain. Character D power drives the villain. Then to have character A comes in and kicks the villain, and character B comes in and punches the villain, and character C punches the villain, and then they kick and they punch, and it doesn't really add anything to the story besides, like, you just want to see this guy get a beat down. You still could probably do that without drawing those extra panels. I literally edited fight scenes that way. There's also one, there's a fight scene where one character shot a beam at another character, and the character is dodging and dodging and dodging and dodging, and I'm just like, you know what's gonna happen? The beam's gonna happen, she's gonna dodge, she's like, you missed me, and then the dude's gonna be like, did I? Shorten that scene a lot too. It was faster, so that's why I went for it. There's a mistake already. Whatever. It's all gonna be on top of the main layer. So what I'm gonna do now is, man, I'm just gonna get rid of these letters. So this is what I'm saying. It's a bit frustrating because if I didn't have all of the letters sitting on here, it would just be touching up art. But here I have to sit down and fix. You gotta remove lettering. You gotta add art. You gotta do a bunch of stuff. So yeah, it's not the funnest way to do this. So I'm gonna try to do this page as fast as I can because I actually want to get into the coloring of the other stuff that I'm working on too. So just do this. Let's get rid of that. Yay. There's ways to make it look like the way it looks there too. It's not that hard. But the idea is to get rid of there's my bricks. Alright, so one of the things I start doing too is when it starts getting a little crazy, I don't want to sit down and try to, I'm gonna copy and paste. Yeah, I got the brick again. So what we're gonna try to do is blend these bricks in using you would think they'd be uniform, right? But you'd be wrong. You'd think they'd be uniform, but you'd be wrong. You'd think that, but you'd be thinking the wrong thing, partner. Oh my God, this is the part that kills me, man. You think they're the same, but they're not. Yeah, that is some bulldoodle right there. Yeah, man, I'm not even playing. This is definitely staying. Frustration, man. Let's see. I have it. I can use that, definitely. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy this layer right here. And what we're we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste also. And then what we're going to do, we're going to flip that bad boy horizontally. And we'll move it in right here like so. And like so across my knee. Right. Right as rain. And then I'm going to use this one right here. I'm going to do the same thing again, copy and paste. I'm going to flip horizontally again, and we'll just put it right on top of there. Why am I doing this? Because I don't want to spend so much time having to do this manually. Right as rain. Beautiful, beautiful. Stupid uniform. Get out of the way. Nobody wants you here. Now it becomes a little bit of a spot to fix versus a whole big spot to fix like before. And then I can also use my airbrush to kind of clean that up. So I'll take this brick again, I'll duplicate, and I'm going to move it under there. Let's see if I can get it. I can live with that. Oh, neck cracking good time. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of color right here, and we're going to touch. That's it. We're going to just play around with some of the colors. Take another color. Take another color. Yay, kind of looks like just the crazy green mess that's there too. Yay, look at that, yay, yay, alright, wonderful. Send this piece out right there, there you go. Everything looks like it belongs together. Alright, so the same thing we're going to do here. We'll just take a little bit of this. Extend, 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 extend. Extend, extend, extend. There you go. I'm going to take this color over here. I'm going to pass it on top of it. Oh my god, look at all the detail. I'll take some black. I'll take it from here. Oh my god, it looks just like it. Yeah, that's the point. So take a little bit of this gray over here and then pass it right on. Right, the light one, not the dark one, right there. Light one right there, fit it in. Oh my god, it's always been like this. Yes, it has. Take a little bit more of the black stuff. Just, there you go. Look at that. It all looks like it belongs to one happy family. I'm going to take some black up in here. And we're going to extend it right up here. So we're going to just use black. Yeah, that's how that's going to look. We're going to cut a little bit off here. Take a little off the top. Look at that. And over here, screw that. Let's just add some color right here. You, my friend, you're going to supply us. You supply us. It's like a spice melange right here. That's what we're doing here. I'll get some black up in here. Yay! Alrighty then. I'm gonna take an airbrush. I'm gonna get this nice beige color right here. I'm gonna move into airbrush mode, and then we're just gonna fill. Am I in airbrush mode? Yes, I'm in airbrush mode. Let's get that color in there. So let's get that color in there. Let's airbrush you to make you white as rain. There you go. A little bit of this color over here too. Right here. There you go. There you go. Everything seems to be covering our bases. Alright, so now the bricks are done. Yay for me. Let's see if I can use those bricks again. So sure as heck doesn't want to have to draw over these things. I still don't even understand. Is that supposed to be a crack? Why would the sound effect be across two different places? Like, should we just be crash and be done with it? Life would be good. So that's what I would think. So I got me some bricks, and I'm gonna use them. Let's see what I can do. What I can do. What I can do. What I can do. I think I can use this side. Duplicate. Move these over. Right. Over there. What if I flip it horizontal? Yeah, let's move this over. Can you stop making noise? Thanks. I do have a brick. So I'm going to duplicate that one. I'm going to move that brick like so. I'm going to flip it horizontally. Move that like so. And because that brick works so well up there, I'm going to duplicate that brick one more time and then move it down like so. Hey, this is a lot faster. Using a bunch of bricks. Can you please stop yelling at my door? Thank you. One more brick. We'll move the brick right up. And what we'll do with it is we'll flip the brick one more time. Look at that. When retouching goes fast and when retouching goes right. That was fun. More of that, please. Merge, merge, and merge some more. Retouching done right. That was fun. All of it should be like that. All of it. I want all of it to be like that. So what we need to do is we need more bricks. Maybe I went a little bit too joint happy. Yes, I did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get me 2 more bricks. Oh my God. Please get away from my door. Let's try. Would this work too? Okay. Let me see something. You go right up here. We're almost done here. You, my fine feathered friend. That's good. Not you. Almost done, sir. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this one more time. And move it over. Yay! And what we're going to do is we're going to just cut it the heck out. Clear. Yay, that was easy. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna move a layer above. I'm gonna add some color here. Not you, oh friendly airbrush. Straight up gangster on this bad boy. And now we're gonna go here. It's free. Free transform can pull in a little bit more. And there you go. Now that's how you get somebody out of a brick enclosement that they were in and start merging them down and put it all back together again. Boom. Bricks are your friends. Close enough. Oh, jeez. Yeah, man. Let's try it. Whatever. I need a big swath of it. We're gonna go back to here. We'll go back down to copy and paste. We have something to work with. So what we're gonna try to do is cheat here. Because whatever we don't have to basically sit down and redraw, the better it is for us. That works out pretty well. So what I'm going to do is get rid of this piece because right there is a merge. There you go. Anything to reduce the amount of work that I have to do is a win for me. Let's see. I'll take it out from here. Copy. That's good here. Let's duplicate here. Getting close now. Yeah, I can move that a whole lot more than you know. What we're gonna do is some of the stuff that's sticking out, we're just gonna blend it in with all this supposedly broken glass, so I don't have to actually take all of it away, and that actually fixes no problem. So let's see. There you are. Seriously though? Come on. Let's just work together here. Too much. Yay. You blended in. That was the whole point. Thank you. So what we need is here too. Oh, come on. Yay, it's glass. Funny, huh? It's more glass. Yay! More glass and more glass again. And look, it's glass. It's all glass here. Easy peasy. So that one was faster than the other stuff I was doing. So I'm happy about that. Go to the top layer, please. So the reason you're seeing all this nonsense is this should be on the very top layer. Boom, problem solved. Okay, so upper part of the page is complete. Crash will look different. I don't know what this is, but it's got good. I have no idea what that says. I'm not sure there would be a sound effects here either, but it seems to be one, so we gotta get rid of it. Well, layer on my own, but I don't care. Any of the top layers are great. I'll take some color from here, and we'll go into the color layer, and we'll apply it. There you go. It's the color. You can also volunteer and give me more of your color. Yay! Colors are done. Don't know what that was supposed to be, but it's not there no more. Yay! Now the hard part. Heavy blue blue pencil. And we gotta minimize this layer for it. I need some white. Let's just do that. Let's establish the nose. So we have an idea what that is. It's kind of big, but really more just so I can figure it out. So the earlobe is here. I'm gonna have to also bring the hair into consideration. Chin. Could really reference this, but I have an idea that the ears are going to be lower on the head simply because you're looking up. The eyes are not really going to be seen. The eyes are going to look something more like this. You can see the bottom of the eye. You can see, like, let's say this is the eyeball itself. Say the eyeball sticks out a little bit, and let's say there's an eye above it. That's pretty much all you're gonna see. Probably gonna see under the eye more than you're gonna see the eyeball really stick out. But that's kind of what you would be seeing. You really wouldn't be seeing the detailed full eye like it's shown up there. You just wouldn't. That'd be almost impossible to see. Just get this nose more refined, a little bit smaller. So let's say if this person's mouth was actually open, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go cheating. I'm going to go for the gritted teeth instead of the open mouth. Maybe the top lip. Maybe it's seen a little bit. Maybe a little bit of the bottom lip. But not what we're seeing. Not what we're seeing there we saw before. maybe that. Again, it's not a really great pose. I personally wouldn't do a character like that. I don't like it. I'm not seeing what would be the benefit for it. So. That's the only modification I do to it. That's about it. What does his hair look like now? I see that. So I need to look at that layer just to get an idea where I'm at. Eyes too far apart. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna push this eye over. Do kind of know is hairline to kind of be preserved. Again, since it's coming from a bottom view, the head would actually be a little smaller. Since we're looking up to it, I'll face uniform. So that would be kind of what we would be seeing. Yeah? So yeah, this is kind of like what you would be seeing, in my opinion. And a little thing over here. Maybe some guns. And the lower part, not too much. Upper part, maybe. There you go. So that's to me a better siphon head than what we had. And we know this thing's around his neck. If you look at the page right before, page 5, so we know this thing goes around his neck. So he would not have his neck completely exposed. So yeah, that's the modification. Then these thumbs, bro. It's the only difference. This in the shadows. That's the difference. Same hand, slightly different there. This one looks better, so I don't really have to do much to it. Again, just a little bit shorter here. I can again throw a shadow in here. These look a lot. This hand is better than the other one. This thumb's not that bad either. That's the only difference. Alright, let's try to fix this lady's face. Get rid of that. Wait, this is not the fixed version? What? Not supposed to be like a super long pause in between this and the next song. Could actually update that. I need to look at this doctor's hair from one of the previous pictures. Oh my goodness. Seriously. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? That's the side view. This is the front view. What does his hair look like? Oh, easy peasy. We did something simple. Mallory. Let's go in there and fix it. There we are. So confused. Okie dokie. We did do that. Oh, I must not be on a loop. Since we're not going to be doing that again. Wow. Dang it. You know what? I'm going to start at... I'll start here. Eventually, I'm gonna probably be switching a lot of this stuff to black, but this will give me an idea where we are in the pictures. This lab coat's really weird to me. It's like a jacket, not a coat. Here's the other modification for this. Big lab coat. That's all I have to say about that. That is a gigantic lab coat. I wonder if this doctor is some kind of superhero. It's a big lab coat. I'm just saying. This will work. Tie over like so. What he can just do is make the tie come onto here. That's a little bit more logical, and we can just add the dang bow. Yeah, we'll leave it at that for now. I'm gonna come back later, tighten this thing up, but I am more than sure that I'm right about here too. Even with the eye, we would never be able to really fully see it. We would be getting the under part of the eyes, so you'd never really be able to see the eye itself. So I think this is more accurate, and I think this also is more accurate here too. Add one's apple. But no, what I have there is actually correct, so I'm not gonna mess with that because it's actually right. All right, so well, then going back and do a dark pass. And from that, finish all the other stuff up. Where's the gallery? Gallery. So this is what I'm up to here. I think I have an idea for the brown. It's gonna be something I saw when I was doing the brother, yeah. So I'm gonna basically work with something like that. So I'm just gonna do so the plane that they're on. I might actually paint this. I actually do it with a paintbrush. One of the brushes. I think I know what I'm gonna do. Folks read The Legend of Willpower. This stuff might look similar, might look familiar to them. What I'm going to use is a canvas that I have sitting around. This is from when I was doing the brother stuff. Too far back. That's the underwater one. There it is. What? Why is it so small? Let's try that again. Bananas. Yeah, nice. Go below. So I'm still not seeing the lines that I just did. Oh, because I did them really light. Okie dokie. Yeah, so, alright. So what we're going to try to do is use the brush to actually paint in this background. I'm going to get rid of this for a second. Color. Let's go higher. Let's go the brighter color first. Control size, but let's control width. Not necessarily. What I'm looking for is sort of like a knife feel. Artistic. Let's see. Interesting. Wild white. interesting. It's a blending type brush. It's almost like it's wet the harder I press. Interesting. I didn't even know it could do that. Alright, that's a pretty neat brush, that leatherwood heart. Let me see this. It's like watercolors. Not harsh enough for me. These are like oil brushes. See this. Yeah, let's see if it's my paints. Darker. Not exactly what I'm looking for. Not what I'm seeing. 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 God, I hate uniform. That's a well freaking one. How? That's what I have to say. Okay. That's what I have to say. come on, man. So here's the background. Kind of neat. So if I warble this, I can send that out by itself. That's pretty neat. Came out pretty good. I'll work on the colors for these characters, and that should be I'll do next. But I'll stop here because it's been a while, so I'm gonna be stopping it here. So I'm getting there. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna be calling it quits here. It's 11:33. So, like I always say, keep your eyes, your ears, your hearts, and your minds open. And until next time, I'll see what I can do on this stuff. Alright, so later, y'all have a good